What is up, everyone? Welcome to Reality Room Podcast with Paul, bringing you the latest on Big Brother 22, All Stars, House Dynamics. Okay, so this is like a new thing I'm trying out. Basically, every week I'm planning to do a House Dynamics video, which is going to include super mega spoilers. So if you're not a live feeder, do not go on this video. X out of this right now because we're gonna have some deep spoilers for sure. We're going to break down every single house guest in the house and analyze how they're playing, who they're close with, and if we think they're playing a good game, or as we're going to go as far into it as we can. It's just me today, but in the future I hope to get some other guests around as well, along with Chris and Dave when probably next week. So first off, I want to start off with the HOH of the week, Cody. And then we'll go down to the two nominees, and then we'll to all 16. So this will end up being pretty long, I imagine. Okay, so first off, Cody is in a very good position in the house. It's actually very surprising. There's not a lot of people after him right now. He has very solid alliances with a very large percentage of the players right now. He has like a final two with Nicole. He has Nicole F, final two with Enzo. He has a kind of thing with Memphis. That's a thing. He has this, and then he has like a bunch of like smaller alliances, and then just generally good relationships with people. So he has like I just want to say Cody's playing like fantastic first week. This is like an ideal first head of household that you want. The only person that's actively going after him right now would be Keisha, and it looks, and spoiler alert, it looks like that she's the one that is going to be going tomorrow, so it doesn't even matter. So yeah, Cody's doing fairly well. Let's talk about some of his alliances. He has like the alliance that Memphis started with Christmas, Tyler, Danielle, Nicole F, and then Cody and Memphis themselves. So that's a solid, like, was that 5 people or 6 people? I think 6 people, I think. It's a solid 6-person alliance, and he also has an alliance with Day, with Devon and Bailey and Enzo, like a foursome right there. And he has his final 2 with Enzo, which we just learned on the episode today, actually, that is his that's the final 2 that he's looking to abide by the end. I forget what they called it, the Roots or something. It's a pretty cool name. Yeah, sure, why not? And then obviously he's close with Nicole, and yeah, Bailey and Devon he's close with. So he's close with fairly like almost half the house already. He's pretty close with Ian. He smoothed things over with Kevin like very well. Like very surprising. Like the dude puts Kevin on the block, and he still comes out scot-free. Like that's actually very impressive for Cody. And he also has a kind of a thing with David, like an understanding, but not like an alliance or anything. Yeah, and those are that's kind of where Cody stands right now. He's in a very good position. Not many people are going after him, and like I said, the only one going after him right now is Keisha. And so, but I do want to make the point that Cody is playing a good game, but he did win the first HOH and showcase his physical prowess, which is actually one of the reasons why people are like coming to him for alliances. So it's possible that this is just a fairly good early game start, and people just want him because he's like a powerhouse. He's good at competitions. I mean, you even have people like Kaser and Janelle coming to him, and these are people that are really on the other side of the house, and they still want to work with him, which shows that he's in a very good position. All right, so next I want to talk about let's talk about Keisha, who's probably playing who's not in a very good position at all in the house. Here's the thing with Keisha. She's not really working with anybody. She's kind of working with Kaser and Janelle, but those are really the only 2 people right now that are looking to help her out, and that would be definite votes for her to even stay tomorrow. Oh, by the way, if you're just joining, This is mega spoilers, so just letting y'all know. So yeah, Keisha's just not in a very good position right now, and it looks like she will be going tomorrow. She hasn't really been campaigning too much or too hard. And it's not that anyone dislikes her. It's just that people want Kevin to stay more, which it makes sense. I mean, at the end of the day, if that's what people want to do, then that's what people want to do. So um, she's the only two people that's really working. She thinks she's working with Memphis. She thinks, but Memphis does not want to work with Keisha. He says he's going to be voting her out. So that's just kind of the way things are going right now. And it's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. So the next house guest I want to talk about is I would say Keisha's obviously probably she's in the worst position in the house, but that's only really because she's on the block. I mean, there are other people in really bad positions that are not going home this week, and I'll get to them later. Next, I want to talk about the next house guest on the block right now, Kevin. Kevin is Jesus. Okay, so Kevin's like an emotional roller coaster, which is at times a little frustrating to watch because he goes through like these emotional turmoils, which it's very understandable because he is on the block, doesn't want to be the first person to go, and as a viewer, I can understand where he's coming from, but he really has to get like his stuff together basically. Kevin has a very close relationship with Nicole A. Very, very close. Like Nicole A is very much batting for him to stay, and he's also fairly close with Devon as well. Those three kind of have like a little thing forming, and also Ian kind of as well. Although there have been some miscommunications recently that could showcase maybe a little differently about that, but that'll play itself out. That may play itself out in the upcoming days, and I'm sure I don't think it'll end up being anything, but I think they're still in a good situation, Ian and Kevin at this point. They have like Ian, Nicole, and Kevin have the awkward dorkables, something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. The awkward dorkables, something like that. And which is interesting because he also pitched this alliance to Nicole F as well. So I don't really know how serious he thinks it is, considering that he mentioned it to Nicole F first and then mentioned it to both Nicole A and Ian, who were both like totally down to do it. At the time, and there are a ton of alliances in the house. Who knows what's real and what's fake at this point? But yeah, as of right now, that's who Kevin's working for. Kevin also has a very decent relationship with both with Cody and Enzo. Enzo has said that he kind of wants. They both have said that they wanted him to stay this week, and they also said that they wanted to maybe work with Kevin at least a little bit in the future. Kevin mentioned to Cody that he wants like a down lowmance with him, basically, where they're kind of like not really like on the same side of the house, maybe, but they're still working together. We've seen various success and failures with this in the past. Most people see it as like playing the middle, but no one can say Cody's playing the middle right now, considering he's the one who's HOH, and I can see, but in a few weeks I can maybe see something happening there with Kevin and Cody. Not positive, but it is. I don't know. It's fairly possible, I suppose. All right, next house guest I want to talk about is Janelle. Okay, so Janelle is in a very picky situation at this point. It's not a great position. It's unfortunate, but the fact that Cody wanted to put her on the block with Kaser week 1 was not a good sign, and the reason why he wanted to do that was because he wanted to separate like that old school duo, and it made a lot of sense for Cody's at the time. But then Kaser and Janelle both do the safety suite comp, and made it fairly obvious to the rest of the house that they are working together. And it's not a good sign for for Janelle and Kaser, because they're now officially linked together, not just by through communications or previous seasons, which they already were, which they already were connected by, but now through actual gameplay, because Kaser actively chose to save Janelle this week, and so because of that, Janelle's kind of in a picky situation where she kind of has to like battle, she kind of has to like reintegrate herself with a group, and she's trying to make something happen, but it's not working too well. So Janelle is close with Keisha, and Janelle is actively campaigning, well, less so at this point, but she's actively campaigning to keep Keisha in the house, although it does not look like that is working, at least at this point. So let's talk about Janelle's other relationships. She has a decent relationship with Danny. And it seems like a lot of people are speculating there was a preseason thing with Janelle and Danny, which is, I would say fairly likely. I would say also Nicole F. and Danny as well have that as a possibility as well. But they're also like friends from like the past, so like all of them. So it's like, well, maybe less so Nicole F. and Janelle, but we'll get into that later. Well, yeah, I guess speaking of which, let's talk about Janelle and Nicole F. So Janelle does not like Nicole F. It seems like she doesn't like her at all. She's actively going after her. It seems like if Janelle was to win an HOH, she would likely target Nicole F. And it makes a lot of sense, and I don't know who else she would put up along with her. Probably like a pawn-like situation or something along those lines. But it is rather an interesting thing to see. And yeah, it's really just Janelle and Kaser and them two. And I mean, they have relationships with outside people, but it seems like they're more close to like others. And that's just the way things seem right now. Let's talk about Kaser. Actually, let me mention one more thing with Janelle. Nicole Sunshine Breeze says Nicole F is a snake. Yeah, I mean they're all snakes, but yeah, Nicole F is a crybaby is a crybaby snake. I mean she rats other people out and then cries about it, which is it's fine to be a snake. I mean it's Big Brother, but crybaby snake is how I would describe her. Anyway, so Janelle also had a conversation recently with Nicole A. about trying to keep Keisha in the house, and then Nicole A. brought that info to Kevin, and now Kevin's kind of actively going against Janelle, which I mean it makes sense for his game because she's the only one campaigning to get Kevin out, and Kevin needs a reason to put someone up, and so it just makes it easy for him, and he already smoothed things over with Cody. To the point where he doesn't want to go after him. Whether or not that's the best decision or not, I don't know. Best for TV? No. Best for his game? Yeah, probably. So Janelle's in a picky situation, like a sticky situation with Nicole A, with Kevin, who's now wants to go after her. The rest of the house still want to go after that duo, like Cody, Nicole F. I think the alliances in the house that formed around the HOH are people that would be going after Janelle and Kaser next week. And let's bring up Kaser now, who's in a similar situation. Kaser has connected on an emotional level with a lot of people in the house, but he hasn't formed game connections, unfortunately. People do like him, but it's difficult right now. He connected emotionally with Ian, Nicole A, David. I think David is someone who could potentially work with Kaser. That they had some very good moments in just the past couple of days. Ian possibly. It's not easy for Kaser right now because a lot of the alliances have. So here's a situation with Kaser. Kaser thought there was a big alliance that was formed earlier on, like in the first couple of days, and there wasn't. So I feel like he was kind of afraid to go out there and make his own little group, and now it seems like it might be too late for that to happen, especially since Kaser and Janelle are trying to get Keisha to stay when a lot of the people that they could be working with, like Nicole A, Um, and Ian are trying to keep Kevin in the game. So yeah, Kaser's not in a good position either. He's also playing a little too quickly. Like he's like, you can tell from like episode 2 in the diary rooms, he's like out for blood with Cody, even though he's trying to like smooth things over with him as well. To be honest, I don't know who he would go after if he won HOH. Probably same as Janelle, and would try to take out like a Nicole F or something, which does make sense to target a winner, especially one with such deep connections in the house right now. Okay, so I think I've gone through 5 house guests. Let's arbitrarily pick our next one. Let's go with Christmas. Yeah, why not? So yeah, Christmas is in. Okay, so Christmas is in a decent situation in the house. Her name isn't coming up too much, although there are people in the house that do kind of want to target her. Actually, didn't Janelle say she wanted to target Christmas too as well? I don't take my word for that, but I believe Janelle said she might want to take Christmas out at some point. So that might be a thing that was said. But yeah, Christmas is in her alliance with that Memphis started, called the Unusual Suspects, I believe it was called. It's a fairly decent alliance, I would say. Again, this is the one with Cody, Nicole, Tyler, Nicole F, by the way, Danielle, Christmas, and Memphis. So it's those 6. And Christmas is involved there. She also has good like one-on-one conversations with people. I don't see her on too many people's radars at this point. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's really all I got to say about Christmas at this point. I mean, she's trying to lay low as much as she can. I think she even talked about maybe throwing like this next HOH because she thinks she's in a good position. Why she would tell someone that, I don't know, but she did mention it. But she also said that she would never throw an HOH, so maybe she's just hedging her bets. So I don't, it's hard to really say. I could have sworn someone was going after Christmas. I really think it was Janelle, but it could be someone else as well. All right, let's talk about our next house guest. Let's arbitrarily just pick Devon. So yeah, Devon's actually in a very, very good position right now in the house. I would argue, and this is just my opinion, I would argue that she's in one of the best positions in the house right now, because she has a lot of connections with a lot of different people. So first off, she has like these personal relations with Nicole A and Kevin. Like she's actively looks like she's trying to like work that angle and try to work with them. She has her final 2 deal, Black Girl Magic, with Bailey, and along with that, she's in the final 4 with Cody, Enzo, and Bailey. So yeah, Day's in a very good position right now. People aren't like looking to target her. She's shutting her mouth like at the proper times. She seems like she's even having like good conversations with like Janelle and Kaser. So she's in a very good position right now. Very impressed with Devon's game, week 1. I'm hoping she continues this forward for the next couple of weeks. But we shall see what happens there. From there let's talk about who's next. Let's talk about Nicole A's game, and then we'll go into Nicole F, everyone's favorite. Okay, so Nicole A, she is not in a great position in the house right now. It does seem like people kind of do want her to like go on the block in the next couple of weeks as like an easy vote out. She does have the Aquadorkables with Kevin and Ian. She just ratted out Janelle and Kaser to Kevin, so she could be going after Janelle and Kaser for all we know. She has an okay relationship with Cody. Nicole F and Nicole A do not get along that well, along with Danny and Nicole A. It just from my perspective, it really doesn't seem like they get along. But yeah, I would say yeah, Nicole A is kind of close with Kaser, but I don't know if that's gonna like transition like game wise into anything like workable because Kaser was trying to save Keisha. Nicole A might be a little taken aback because she really really likes Kevin like a whole lot. And yeah, that's kind of where Nicole A is. She doesn't really have like a good grasp on what's going on in the game, at least as of like yesterday. She was thinking like there was like this big 13-person alliance that were trying to like get Kevin out, but it seems like since then she kind of talked to a bunch of people and she still doesn't know where people stand, which is a little unfortunate because it means she'll have to like tiptoe around conversations. Maybe she should. Right. She also has that BB21 thing with David as well. So they're also fairly close. Although it's not really like game level conversations. David seems to just be like a laying low type of guy right now, and it's really working out for him. So yeah, that's how Nicole A is doing. From there, I guess we'll talk about Nicole Franzel, which I know is almost definitely your favorite house guest this season. All right, so Nicole F. Honestly, I don't think Nicole F. is in a great position right now. There are people like throwing her name out there. Like for instance, like Janelle and Kaser, I believe, would both actively go after Nicole F. Just from my perspective now. And honestly, like Nicole F is kind of having like these emotional things happening in the house. And this is just the way I see it. It could just be like through my perspective, but I really think they're kind of annoying some people. I want Nicole A to get out Nicole F. I mean, yeah, I can understand what you're saying, but it seems like Nicole A, I don't know what she would do. She would either she could go that route, honestly, but she could also go after Janelle and Kaser, because she has reason to, because they tried to save Kevin. I mean, they tried to save Keisha and get Kevin out, but I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, okay. So Nicole F has that relationship. She has a relationship with Cody. She has a final 2 deal with Ian, which is very important, by the way. It's the winner's final 2, which honestly is what she should probably be going for. Like, honestly, if she wants to win, her and Ian should probably go to the end together. It's the best way to have a 2-time winner. I think it'll be very hard to have a 2-time winner any other way other than that. Nicole F's close with Tyler, close with Christmas, close with Memphis. Is she close with Enzo? I don't think so. I guess that's really all she's really close with. I mean, she has like a kind of workable relationship with Devon, kinda. Although, that could go any way, really. That can go any way. But there are people that have been saying Nicole F's name, and I think she has, and it's enough people that are saying her name that she could be a person that's going on the block if someone was to win HOH that she's not working with. Yeah, that's just the way things are going right now. I don't think she'll make it that much further. Honestly, and I'm actually going to jump into Ian at this point because I think it's a decent transition. So I think if Nicole F leaves, I think that Ian is actually in a bad position. Would be in a really really bad position. Because he would be the only winner left. And there have already been people talking about taking out Ian. We saw that Enzo was one of those people just in the episode today that aired. And also Memphis wants to get Ian out as well because, he won against Dan, who Memphis is really close with in the real world. So so Ian's in a precarious situation as well, but only if certain people were to win HOH. Although it seems like he has an okay relationship with Cody, and that's mostly because Nicole's trying to like keep Cody good with Ian because Nicole and Ian are working together. For that reason. How's Bailey doing? I will get to Bailey. I'll get to Bailey next. Sunshine, no, don't you worry. So, who was I don't even remember who I was talking about. Oh, Ian. Yeah, right. So Ian has he's working with Nicole A and Kevin, although it's kind of like iffy right now. We'll see what happens there. He had a conversation with Janelle recently that seemed like really positive and really good. But I think I really think that people might be targeting him soon. I'm worried about him. And but I know that Nicole F is gonna vouch for Ian like no matter what. So that's kind of like the duo I see in my head. I know they're showing like, oh, Nicole F is so close with Cody in the house, but really what it is that if Nicole F or Ian leave the game, the other one will not stay too much further in, just in my opinion, because they're not going to want. Right now, there's 2 winners in the house, so it's like, okay, well, there's 2, but there's only 1 winner in the house. They're probably going to go after the one. So that's why I feel like even if Nicole F was to leave like next week, like how a lot of people want, I think Ian would be in trouble. So if you like Ian, I think you want Nicole to stay at least another few weeks, at least until more relationships are formed. We'll talk more about them in week 2. Bailey's in a very good position right now. She's close with Cody. She's close with Enzo and Devon. They have that 4-person alliance together. With the 4 of them. Bailey also has a thing with Tyler, the BB20 alliance. She has the final 2 deal with Devon. No one's really talking about Bailey right now, like going after her. So honestly, she's in a very, very good position. Just like her and Devon are both in very, very good positions. Yeah. Although not working together, like they both her and Devon kind of have a thing with David as well, although it's nothing like solid at this point. But yeah, overall Bailey's doing well. I really don't think she should want to win an HOH next week because I don't think anyone's targeting her. And yeah, final 2, Black Girl Magic, baby. We'll see what happens if they keep playing as good as they're doing right now. We could potentially see them both going very, very far. Although the only issue that they both have is that everyone knows that they're a duo. Like, everyone knows they're a duo. So, honestly, I think winning competitions for them would actually be really, really bad for them. Right? Because they know they're a voting block. People know they're a voting block. But if they start winning competitions too, I think people are going to start to get worried. So, Bailey and Dave, they both got to be a little careful the next couple of weeks for sure. I don't even know who I haven't talked about yet. Let's see. Tyler, yeah, Tyler. Why not? That's a good transition. So Tyler's okay. Unfortunately for Tyler, everyone keeps coming up to him and asking for final 2 deals with him. We saw that in the episode today. I really think that's gonna bite him in the butt like very, very soon. And it's not even his fault, really, because just, like, everyone's coming up and being like, yeah, man, like, we're working together, we're doing, like, so good, and it's just like, Tyler is just in an awkward situation. He does have the Final 6 deal that Memphis started, the Unusual Suspects, and he does have that thing with Bailey, and he's also kind of working with everyone in the house. So, as long as he doesn't win an HOH, I think he'll be fine, but until then, we'll see. Oh, poor Tyler. I really think he'll be gone in like 3-4 weeks because people are gonna start saying, "Yeah, who are you working with, Tyler? Oh, I'm working with Tyler." These are all stars. These everyone's gonna like. It's just not gonna be good for. Not gonna be good for him, and it sucks because he even said that he didn't want that to be his game this time around, but it's forced upon him. I think he just has like that natural personality that people gravitate towards. And it's honestly, it's great in like real life, and it was great in Big Brother last season. But because people already know that that's what happened last season, he might be in a bad situation, unfortunately for him. All right, does anyone know who I didn't talk about yet? I feel like I talked about almost everybody. Did I talk about Enzo? I don't know. Let's talk about Enzo, because sure. He has a final 2 deal with Cody. It's looking fairly good for him. No one's really saying Enzo's name, although Enzo is going after Ian, which is, I don't think he really has to go after Ian, but I guess you have to go after someone in this game. But I'm sure like Nicole F will talk him out of that. He does have that Final Four deal with Devon and Bailey and Cody as well. So yeah, Enzo's in a good position. I mean, he won veto this week, so he kind of has like a trust thing with Kevin. Like he kind of told him like not to worry about it because he thinks he has the votes there. And yeah, I guess that's all I'll say about Enzo. I think he's in a fairly good position right now, actually. Although a lot of people do know that he's, that he is working with Cody because they do have like that Jersey thing going on. Let's see, who have I not talked about? I don't think I talked about Memphis, Danny, or who else is in this house? David. Let's go with David. Okay, so David isn't in any formal alliances, although he does have great connections with Cody. He has that connection with Nicole A. He does have a great relationship with Kaser. So honestly, David's actually in a very good position right now. Unfortunately, he is in like the middle, so people could. So in the upcoming weeks, unless he does form something fairly solid, like alliance wise, people could see him as playing like the middle and see him as an easy out. But for now, he's in a very good position. Again, great. He has great conversations with Kaser, and they're very, very, just good to watch. And Nicole has him from Big Brother 21. And yeah, so and he has like a thing with the guys, kind of, but not really, nothing official. But they seem to talk, and they bro it out, and it just seems to work. I don't think I talked about Danielle yet. So yeah, I think Danny's in a rough position right now if people start talking, because it does seem like she has like a preseason alliance with Janelle, and I don't think she made a preseason thing with Nicole F. I think they're just friends, because a lot of you are saying like some of the stuff is like preseason, but some like literally Danny went to Nicole F's engagement party in the Big Brother house. So, we know they're close. Like, it's like common sense. And obviously they would work together because they're real life friends. That doesn't even have to be like preseason. But I think Janelle did do something preseason with her. And she's trying to abide by it as best she can. I think Danny's trying to play under the radar at this point. I think she'll be throwing the next HOH competition. Personally, if I were her, I would try to do that, because she does not want to ruffle any feathers and go after Janelle and Kaser, who it seems the people in her alliance want to get out at this point. So yeah, that's where Danny, she should not be winning HOH. If she does, I do not know what she's going to do, and I'm a little worried if she does. And if people start talking, like if Janelle talks to Cody, or God forbid Nicole has a conversation with Janelle, like it'll never happen probably because they don't really like each other, but they could both find out that Danny's kind of playing both sides, and we'll see, and we'll see if what happens from there. So again, it really depends on what happens. She's in a vulnerable. I can speak, I swear. A vulnerable. I can't speak. What the hell's wrong with me today? She's in a vulnerable position right now. If people start talking. But if not, then she's fine. But it's a Big Brother house and people have nothing to do all the time. So I think people might be talking the next couple of weeks, especially if the wrong people are on the block. Like if Janelle and Case are on the block, you don't think she's going to like talk about how she's kind of working with Danny and people are going to get suspicious. I don't know. Or how people in the house are going to see how close she is with Nicole F and Cody and those people. Yeah, I think there's a very good possibility of that. All right, I think I talked about everyone except Memphis. So, okay, so Memphis is actually... I don't think Memphis is in a great situation either. He seems to think like he's... So a lot of people seem to think that he's trying to work to get Keisha to stay this week, which isn't the case at all. And for that reason, I think people might target him next week because people think he's trying to save Keisha. I think like Nicole A, Kevin, And those people would possibly go after Memphis next week. Because they might think, oh, well, they tried to take out my friend in the house, Kevin, even though Memphis did not try to do that at all. So really, he could be in a bad position just because of bad reads in the house. He does have that 6-person alliance, though, that he formed, the unusual suspects. But, I don't know. He is... It really depends on how the conversations shape out for Memphis. Yeah, so that's... I believe that's everybody. I think, I want to say, yep. Okay, so the people that I think are playing the best games right now, are in the best positions, I think are probably, oh God, I don't know, is anyone even in a good position? I think Devon's probably in the best position right now, because out of her duo, I think Bae would be the first one to go. She does have a thing with the other side of the house, and she has a connection with Cody as well, and Enzo, a Final Four deal. And I haven't heard anyone really say Day's name at all, so that's just how I'm feeling. Person who's playing the worst game right now. I mean, do I want to be obvious? Just say Keisha, because it probably is Keisha, because she's leaving. I kind of want to say either. It's so tough. I do want to say, honestly, I really hate to say it, but I don't think, it's going to be controversial. I don't think Janelle and Case are playing very good games right now. I think they're in bad positions. And everyone they think they kind of had like an in with are really working with other people. So I really think they're in a bad situation starting next week, and I think one of them two could leave if they don't win HOH. Yeah, that's just how I'm feeling at the moment. People who are under the radar that I would look out for, I think one is David. I think he's doing fairly well, and I think we'll see something from him very soon. So definitely check out David soon. I mean, definitely check out how David's doing in the house the upcoming weeks, because I'm curious to see where he lands, because it doesn't seem like he's anyone's target right now. Which is, very good for him. All right, so I think we'll end it off here. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be doing this weekly, kind of giving an update on how the house guests are doing, the relationships that are going on in the house, and, I like to do it live because I like to answer questions if anyone has them, even if it's only like 1 or 2 people watching. Shout out to Sunshine for asking a couple questions. Thanks, buddy. If you enjoy our videos, please like, comment, and subscribe down below. Big Brother 22 fans here. We'll probably start doing episode breakdowns as well with Chris, me, and Dave in the upcoming days and weeks. So until next time, guys. Until next week, I should say. Peace.